So if I would encourage the industry to do more of one thing, it would be apprenticeship. When I train my people, I say, you need to consider why. Why are you doing that? What's the goal or what's the purpose of that HEPA vacuuming? Why are you doing that? It's not to run the vacuum for 2 hours so that we can bill for it. We're trying to remove dust. And therefore, if there's dust left in this corner, the why of HEPA vacuuming did not happen here. And sounds like common sense, but let's be honest. We all get caught up in processes, and this is just what we do and why we're doing it, or what we're doing, and we forget why we're doing that.
You're also kind of like running a business. How do you go about kind of structuring your day-to-day operations? How do you make sure that every team member kind of like complies to the same standards when going out to a remediation job?
Yeah, so training's important, whether that's external training through a certification body. There's certifications now that you can get online if you want some just book learning, some head training. And then there's some real world training that you can go do. Normie, ICRC, these are commonly used for in-person training. But you can do in-person training and teach guys how to set up containment and cleaning procedures. We have found internal training to be very important. So we always pair new guys with seasoned guys. We tend to run in crews, so we just do mold remediation here in Central Indiana at my business. We don't do any water damage or anything else, so we're very focused on mold. But the old model of putting the old guy or the new guy with the experienced guy, the apprenticeship type of training, I still really believe it's really hard to beat that. So it's important that your guys get certified. It's important that your guys get trained. But man, if you can apprentice a young guy or gal with an experienced guy or gal, and give them some time together, 6 months, a year together, that's the best way to pass on information. There's so many nuances to doing what we do, and it's very hard, I think, in the modern world to acknowledge that you don't know something. Information is just so available, and yeah, I should know that. And if I don't, I can go out and Google it in the driveway. The information, it's really hard for people to acknowledge that they just don't know something. And having that person that's been there and experienced that, it's really hard to circumvent that. So if I would encourage the industry to do more of one thing, it would be apprenticeship. We really need to put new people with experienced people and help them benefit from that experience. And hopefully this type of interaction like we're having now allows me to share some of that. There's the standard. So there's there's the standard that we really want to follow. And it doesn't take but 6-8 months in business before you start to recognize, boy, the standard really is going to be kind of hard to fit into this particular project. And so thinking outside the box and focusing on goals. So what is it that we're trying to accomplish, and how are we trying to get there? Or when I train my people, I say, you need to consider why. Why are you doing that? What's the goal or what's the purpose of that HEPA vacuuming? Why are you doing that? It's not to run the vacuum for 2 hours so that we can bill for it. We're trying to remove dust. And therefore, if there's dust left in this corner, the why of HEPA vacuuming did not happen here. So focusing on goals and why you're doing something is extremely important and sounds like common sense, but let's be honest. We all get caught up in processes, and this is just what we do and why we're doing it, or what we're doing, and we forget why we're doing that. So with magicplan, you guys have this beautiful system where you can map out the interior of the structure. It can get uploaded into Xactimate and help to chug out estimates faster than anyone's been able to do it before. You can keep track of documentation. You've got all these tools at hand, and you can get in this habit of doing these things. And at times you just forget, well, why did I do that? So the daily logging and note taking, which is a requirement of the industry, which you can do in your app, which I think is beautiful, um, is really important. But if you don't know why you're taking notes, if you're just, I showed up today, it was at this time, and we walked around and twiddled our thumbs, and then we left. Those notes aren't very helpful. So understanding what the notes are about, and why they're there is not only good for you and your employees, but it's good for your customers. And we have, with tools like what you guys have, there's the ability to share this information, photos and logs, manometer readings, other things that you would track on a remediation project. And understanding that the customer will be able to garner information from that, I think, is important when you're, when you're taking notes.
Yeah, that is like sharing information, I think, is one key. Like you need to be transparent. And I mean, Jackson, we talked about it yesterday. Really, one of the key elements we also like to highlight is you are adapting to the space you're in, right? So whatever your process or whatnot is requiring, the why is lots of time determined by your surroundings. So how big is the place? Like what is the structure of the rooms? What is the kind of like how many doors are there? Like how much ventilation is there? Or whatnot, you name it. And that's really specific to that project. And yeah, I mean, Jackson, you built that great case yesterday where you basically walked us through this room by room setup of where you can go, where's the containment area, and what's the safe zone. Maybe you want to share a few insights from your end on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the application, it's super easy to get that information going really, really fast. Hand sketching is the tried and true way to do it and gather that. But going through with a colored pencil to kind of mark your containment zones is a little bit elementary schoolish. So with the app, we were able to go in and you can color the rooms based on how, I don't want to say how lethal it is, but how dangerous it would be to enter. The green room is safe. We marked, a red room as the kitchen where the primary growths were. Super easy for anybody to see, and you don't even really need a key to understand what's going on, as long as you know this is a mold project, and you know your colors as well. I think that's important. So, going through and adding those notes in such a surface level and very easily, I think kind of meshes well with what you're saying of, collaboration is key. The baseline is really an easy standard to follow. Everybody knows it, but it's when you get down to it, what's different about this project? What can we add here that really, makes us understand what's going on and the best way we can solve it? And giving people the power of that information like Google does, I mean, I think it just goes miles beyond what, the standard is, like you're saying. There's always more to it. The standard is just not going to cut it nowadays. So
yeah. I mean, what you guys offer with regards to in-app training and connection to professionals who have years of experience, that's golden. So I would encourage anyone to reach out, find a mentor. At Dot Cleaner, we're very educationally driven. So I spend a good chunk of my week every week just talking to people all over the country and helping them solve these types of problems. And having done so many, you can call me and say, "Hey, this is the scenario," and I go, "Oh yeah, no problem." Like I did that 5 years ago, or I have run into this problem. I've never seen it before. I've seen that a few times. So
yeah,
having people you can reach out to, Dot's available to you anytime. But there's also just guys that have been in the industry, probably in your market, that would be more than willing to kind of go along with you. More than you would think. So there's a lot of camaraderie in many industries. That's certainly true of the remediation and restoration industry. There's someone that will mentor you, and if you are willing to take them out to dinner, I'm sure they can fill you up with stories that will be informative.
Well, I definitely learned a lot today. Thank you, Brian, for taking the time and joining us here today. Yeah, cool stuff. I also kind of that ingenuity of okay, there's a new technology, we can change the concentration by a factor of whatnot. That's really cool, and like this new use of existing technology, as you said, that's what personally always drives me and interests me. So again, thank you for sharing your knowledge
Yeah.
and your time with us today,
Yeah.
and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, guys, and it's really exciting what you guys are putting together. So thanks for letting me be part of it.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Of course.